Hey everybody, it is Clarissa here. You are back in the limelight. I have yet another extraordinary entrepreneur that I've known for quite some time and have watched grow and blossom over the years. And I want to tell you all about that, but I don't want to do that before I say like, subscribe, do all those lovely things that you have to do to show us a little bit of love so that we can continue to do the show and be here for you and bring you all the fabulous people that I get to meet along the way that I think are going to be really beneficial for you to know. In the meantime, don't forget that In the Limelight is comprised of video. It is a podcast as well that you can find on iTunes and Google Play. And we also have the digital magazine. We've got the Lamborghinis on the cover this time. And In the Limelight is intelligent media for the savvy entrepreneur. And no lady is more savvy that I know than a lovely lady who's got an Australian accent, which is extremely sexy. And she's absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to bring her on right now. There she is, Natalie Ledwell from MindMovies.com. I love this lady. She is so awesome. And she and Glenn, I've known for 10 years. We met at an event called Secret Knock, Greg Reed's Secret Knock, and they were just starting up MindMovies.com, where she's going to tell us what that's all about, when they gifted us, which was very sweet. The whole room got a gift of MindMovies.com. I've got mine on my desktop. I must admit, I should probably watch it more than I do, Natalie, but it's there, my love, and I thank you for that fabulous gift. Tell us all about MindMovies, what it does, and then we're going to talk about the different iterations, the different levels, and all the giving back that you guys do.
Wonderful. Yeah. So a mind movie, in essence, is a visualization tool. So we saw a movie back in 2006 called The Secret that talked about the law of attraction, which was a huge runaway success around the world.
Right.
And one of the big takeaways we got from that was that when you are visualizing your future, you don't want to just be able to see yourself in that future, but you need to feel what it's like to already be there. And so back then, people would create vision boards, which,
right,
you cut out photos and magazines of the car you want, the house you want. So when you looked at it, you could actually see yourself in that house or in that car.
Mm-hmm.
So a friend of ours came to us with this little movie that he'd made, which was affirmations. So describing his future as if it was already happening now, had photos that matched those affirmations. And like you would have on a vision board, but he included music. So the cool thing about this is that when you're making a mind movie, and so what we've done is create software to make it easy for people to make these movies for themselves, is number one, that you're getting clear about what it is that you want. You're figuring out what you want, what life looks like, why you want it, what you need to do to get there. And you're describing all of it in this little movie.
Mm-hmm.
The photos help you go there in your mind. But the music is the secret sauce, because it's what puts you emotionally in the same vibration or the same emotional feeling that you'll be feeling once you get into that.
Okay. I didn't know that. Okay.
Very powerful. Very
Yeah. And the music you can find on mindmovies.com. You can just go ahead and download it from there, or you can, as I remember, upload anything that you want and have that be an underlying track, if you will, to your very own mind movie. Yes.
Yeah, so we have all the assets inside. So we have a whole library of photos and affirmations and music that you can just drag and drop to make it super easy.
Right.
But you can import your own personal photos.
Right.
You can, what I recommend is the song that you use is actually, it needs to be something that really blows your hair back. Something that really makes your heart sing, because when you have that right piece of music, it then becomes this anchor for the future that you're creating.
Right.
My original mind movie in 2006, I used Clocks by Coldplay. And I can't hear that song and not start crying. Because that movie was the beginning of some beautiful life that I get to.
Exactly. And to my mind came the theme from Rocky, right, as he's running up the stairs to the Philadelphia Library. So and that's what's so beautiful about my movies, is that it's individual, it's personal to you, and it's your story, it's your life. You create it the way you want, and then by being able to watch the movie, which is really the exercise, isn't it? It's not just creating it; it's really going back and watching it once a day. Is that good?
Well, I would recommend at least twice. So once in the morning, once in the evening, but it's not just watching it.
Right.
It's watching it and then having that moment, like when you're daydreaming about where you want to be and what you want to do. Well, this is like a daydream with intention.
Right.
So you watch this and then you see yourself already there.
Right.
And feel what it's like, because the more that you do that, we're creating these new neural pathways in our brain with thoughts that are in alignment with this future that we keep playing as a very vivid movie in our mind.
Right.
And the subconscious mind doesn't really know the difference
Is
between
there,
what we see and what we play in as a movie.
right, sorry. Is there the optimal length to a mind movie?
I normally say the length of a song. I like to play the full song. I like to hear the whole thing. So normally I say the length of the song, which is 3 to 4 minutes.
Yeah.
I think that if it's too long, then it becomes a chore.
Right.
You don't want that.
Yeah.
It wants to be something that's fun, that's short,
Right.
that gets you there. Because remember, it's not really the movie that's creating your future. It's you.
Right.
It's your mind. And
Right.
this is just a prompt to get you to go there.
Right. So everybody, you're going to take a look underneath. You see the ticker. It's mindmovies.com. Go take a look as we're taking Natalie through the rigors of explaining what MindMovies really is. But I know that you've got different courses, and there have been iterations around MindMovies. And not only, I want you to talk about how you are implementing MindMovies around the world in places in great need and in schools also globally.
Yeah. So MindMovies, we started, our big launch was 2008, which, we risked everything, came over here to the US, joined a mastermind group and just learnt what we had to do. Everything that could possibly go wrong went wrong in that particular launch, but we were so focused on what our vision was and where we were going to go.
Right.
From there, we've we've reached 6 million people around the world.
Yeah.
With MindMovies and our programs.
That's immense.
Right. And the thing is, we started with just MindMovies, but then we graduated and created what we call MindMovies Matrix, which are MindMovies that are already made for you, in the areas of wealth and love and health and the kind of macro things.
Sure.
But they've been combined with brainwave entrainment audios and subliminal audios.
Oh, wow.
So by listening to the brainwave entrainment audio one in the morning, what's happening is that buffeting sound that you hear is actually shutting down your analytical mind and putting you straight into suggestible mind. So the mind movie that you're watching is going straight in there.
So it's a fast track.
It's a fast track, and it's really helping to reprogram your brain. And then the subliminal one at night is, hundreds of affirmations are going straight into your subconscious. But then from there, we graduated into what we call the Ultimate Success Masterclass. And we have to date have had thousands upon thousands of people go through that program. People are starting every single week. But this is teaching you the complete formula of success.
Right.
The nuts and bolts of applying the law of attraction in the right way every single time, but then getting rid of all of your limiting beliefs and the programs that we picked up along the way, getting you to identify what your core values are, what's important to you, and figuring out what you're passionate about, and being able to clear all of that. So then once you have this formula, you can apply it to anything that you want for the rest of your life.
Yeah, and the trouble with limiting beliefs, I think, is half the time we don't know what the heck they really are. I mean, you can kind of guess but what are they really? How long have they been here, and how deep are they? So they're really hard to get to. And I love when they talk about all the different kinds of work that can be done, from hypnotism to, the whole gamut. And it's really interesting because I oftentimes still come out of it and say, well, I wasn't really sure what exactly I was supposed to be working on. So this sounds like the pretty well straight up, no kidding way of getting there. And I'm very interested. I'm really interested because I didn't know that you guys were doing this now. So
and the thing is too, that because we may not know what these programs are, but the thing is, when we consciously set ourselves an intention and a goal and we start moving towards it, well, this is when we start to challenge them. So this is when they come to the surface, and they may come to the surface in a bunch of negative thoughts. It could be things like procrastination, excuses, whatever that is. But when we start to challenge them, this is when they're easy to see. Right. And this is when we start to really be able to.
Let me ask you a question, like honest. Just nobody's listening, just you and me. Do you ever procrastinate?
Sometimes. Sometimes I do, but when I do, I look at that and go, well, why is that? Because I'm what you call GSD. I get stuff done. Right. Oh yeah. Well, we know that about you. We know that about you, girlfriend. So if I am procrastinating and it's not a usual behavior of mine, right, which it isn't, I'll look at it and go, this is interesting. Right. So what am I not seeing here? Yeah. Why is this coming up for me? Because maybe subconsciously I realize that there's something not right. And so I'll kind of go underneath the behavior and go, okay, well, where is this coming from?
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Okay. And so I know as I was saying to you before, we jumped on live, I wanted to talk to you about what, you were doing. Well, last time we spoke, which was going into the school systems in Colombia and taking MindMovies there.
Yeah. Well, I've actually been working with a colleague of mine, Debbie Selden, and she has 2 master's degrees. She's worked in refugee camps around the world. She works with kids in trauma. And between the 2 of us, we've created this amazing curriculum called Personal Growth Studies. And it's designed for schools, so for teachers to teach in the classroom. But really what it's doing is really addressing the challenges that we have with this next young generation, with the unacceptable suicide
rates,
bullying, the self-harm, all of that. And so not only does it include things like yoga and meditation and gratitude and empathy and compassion and setting personal standards, but it's also a lot of science around, and psychology around how do we self-regulate our emotions. When we're in a mood, how do we shift from that? Who are the safe people that we can talk to when we're not feeling great? And how do we model that conversation? So there's a lot of that involved. And yes, of course, MindMovies is part of that. And we've created like an under 12s version, which we call Dream Design Movies. And then a teenage version, which we call New Generation MindMovies. So we are in our 2nd year in Liberia, Africa. I actually met with the Minister of Education there about 1.5 years ago.
Right.
So we're in our 2nd lot of 500 students. So
right.
there's 1,000 students that we've actually had a positive impact on to help them think for themselves and to really build their self-esteem and to see hope in their future. And the results that we've been getting from there are amazing.
So really, really cool. You said something about possibly starting in Los Angeles, United States, and also in Australia?
Yes. So, I mean, this is our way of giving back, the work that we're doing in Liberia. But of course, this curriculum is available for schools now. And so, in the US, this is one of the obviously, I live in the US, so this is something I'm really focused on. And there is such a challenge here with these, young people in this next generation. So we are actually looking for some schools that are open to doing a pilot program. So they will be the first schools in the US to teach it.
Right.
And we're hoping to gift it for this first year so that we can gather this quantitative data that we need to be able to go into the public schooling system here.
Right.
And Australia have just passed a law that a mental health program has to be part of the curriculum there. So we are taking this opportunity to make sure
that
this is. Yeah.
That is really awesome. I see also you guys have graduated into an app since we last spoke.
Oh, yes, our MindMovies app. So we really wanted to create a social media style app that not only helped us to for our community to be in a positive bubble of love and support and expansion,
right.
But also to be able to keep us on track with all of our goals. So when you go inside of the app, you have the recognition wall. So every time you do something like your any steps towards your goals or any of the gratitudes or the actions that we get you to take that we wanted you to become a habit for you.
Right.
Log it off in there. You've got all the community giving you a high five and congratulating you for it. It's also an amazing source. We have different information channels in there, so you can get information on whatever it is that you want. And the cool thing about it is that you get to choose. So it's not like you're bombarded with everything. You choose what information you want, and that's what you get the little reminders for. And there's also a chat feature in there as well, and you have access to different meditations and things.
Oh man, I'm behind the 8 ball. I need to get with the program here. Give me whiz. Okay, well, all right then. I'm feeling pretty guilty. Okay, the last thing that I wanted to ask you was the affiliate program. So as for the entrepreneurs that are listening that only want to jump on board with mindmovies.com because they need to not do like I did and kind of forget sometimes, they need to jump on, but there's an affiliate program. Do you want to talk about that a second?
Yeah, well, that's been the number one way that we've got the word of MindMovies out there. From the very beginning, that was the form of marketing that we used, was affiliate marketing. So anyone who has an email list that would be open to some kind of a tool like MindMovies or any of the self-help and the mindset program we have, they can just email us at jv@mindmovies.com, and then our JV manager, who's Rose, who's amazing, can then reach out to them and set something up. Now we pay out 50% commission on everything because all of our programs are digital.
Wow.
And like I said, we've been doing this for 12 years, and we still have some affiliates that have supported us in that very first launch in 2008. There's still affiliates with us now. So.
Right. And I'm an affiliate.
Yeah.
So that's why we've gotten back together, because now we're going to be putting my affiliate onto the magazine, and now it's out into the video. It obviously is going to go into the podcast. And so that gets to be really, really exciting.
Well, I'm excited about the podcast. So I actually have a podcast as well.
You do? Tell us about it.
Yeah. So it's called Not Over, Just Different. And it's a podcast for women of a respectable age, although I've realized recently from the feedback I'm getting, it's women of any age.
Exactly.
But really, the purpose of the podcast is to open up some conversations around subjects that we find maybe a little challenging, maybe we have some guilt or some shame around. And I really wanted to model how to have these conversations with our girlfriends, and that we're not the only ones that are suffering with this. I mean, all of us are suffering with similar things. Yeah. So we talk about everything from, reinventing ourselves, going into a new career, sex, dating, marriage, hormones, menopause, anything, and really doing it in a very a very candid and raw kind of a conversation.
Well, I'm very thrilled to hear that, because there need to be more conversation. We need to be opening up a lot more. In fact, I just got off the phone this morning with, just so you know, I'm writing a book now called The Self-Esteem Regime. And this is all about women and self-esteem, and the 4 pillars that I find to be the most important for all of us to sort of follow and engage with. And so, there's just way too much, way too many of us that aren't living in our true power and light. And so I think that the more of us that there are, the better it is for women as a whole, and certainly men as well, and the planet. I mean, I'm all about giving and all about sharing, and I know you are too. So what did I not ask you that you want everybody to know?
Well, just that, we've gone over the macro part of what we represent and what we do, but we have, the app that we talked about is completely free. I mean, a lot of the community that we've built up, we like to create a lot of engagement. We like to give a lot of free content. Mm-hmm. So there's a ton of that there. And then, and when the time is right, we hopefully that, if you're looking for something that's going to help you, change your mindset or really help to change your life, then we're also there to help with that as well. But we have a ton of free content that we'd love for you to get access to.
I just love you. I just think you're the most awesomest. I swear I do. And I just never had got enough of you, because I live so far away. But But that having been said, the last question is going to be this. What in all of this success and all of the ups and downs, all of the difficulties, the obstacles, the triumphs, and all the rest, what was in the last 10, 12 years, your crowning entrepreneurial moment?
It was definitely the success of the launch of MindMovies. We had, if it hadn't have worked, we would have been in such a big financial hole. I don't know how we would have crawled out of it. And we did put everything on the line. And we were like 40 at the time. So we're learning all of these new skills and things for the very first time. Right. I only used a computer for Word and bookkeeping. So I'm learning how to edit videos and websites. I'm like, but we were so determined to get through that. And it wasn't just that. But, we look now, like a couple of weeks, actually about 3 weeks ago, Google reached out to us and said, look, we really want to help you. We've seen your advertising. We'd like to give you a hand. And we're like, why? Like, why us? And they're like, we looked at your company and you have a fantastic and robust customer support system. Right. You've been in business for 12 years. We can't find anything negative about your company out there. You have that amazing app. You have this engaged social media. They go, you have everything that we're looking for. And the way that you do business, it means that you're someone credible that we want to work with. So, it means that everything that we stand for and everything that we are, not only have we been able to share that vision with our team, but they're all stepping up and contributing to that as well. So
extraordinarily exciting.
We got to reach so many people around the world.
So exciting. All right there, girlfriend. I think that's enough information for now. And so the good amount of information for anybody that wants to know everything they need to know about MindMovies. Again, you can reach out to Natalie at, what is it, JV at?
jv@mindmovies.com.
jb@mindmovies.com. I am excited to be also an affiliate. And with that having been said, we are going to say goodbye to Natalie for now. And maybe we'll catch up with you in another 6-7 months or so and see where you're going next.
Oh, that would be great.
Thanks so much.
In a whole different space then.
I know, with the way you're moving, I just, I can't leave you alone for a minute, can I? All right, love. Be well. We'll talk soon.
Thanks.
Bye. Bye. Okay.